In one way or the other, cancer has touched each of us.
My name is Sasha, and I have bipolar, OCD, and stage 4 breast cancer.
We all know somebody who is either fighting it or fought it or lost.
It's really important to remember that having HPV doesn't mean you have cancer. It means you just need extra tests.
On today's show, life after cancer. Two in 5 Canadians over 65 will face cancer. But with survival rates at an all-time high, a diagnosis is far from a death sentence. Today, we're going to be hearing stories of survivors who are living amazing lives in the aftermath of cancer. First up is marathoner Sasha Graunerman. After a devastating diagnosis, she's dedicated her life to helping others facing the same challenges.
My name is Sasha, and I have bipolar, OCD, and stage 4 breast cancer. Apparently, this is the worst Tinder profile ever. This one was the TC 10K. That one just happened this past April, and I actually beat my time.
Sasha spent years as an ultramarathoner and trainer. Even through treatment, she's continued to run.
This one here is the Goddess Run one. My mom and I did it together. She's 68, so it was so much fun, so yeah.
Hearing your story, you were just someone I had to meet, because I think that your approach to life is incredible. You've really taken everything from it through your fitness, and now, of course, you've got new challenges. Mm-hmm. Can we touch upon what you're going through?
In July 13th of 2018, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, and I went through the usual treatments, chemotherapy. I had bilateral mastectomy with reconstruction, and then I later had hormonal therapy. In about October of 2020, I started getting some neck pain, and at that time I was 44 years old. I'm getting older, and it happens. As time went on, it got worse and worse, and I started losing feeling in my thumb and my arm and stuff. And at the end of March, I went in for an urgent MRI, and they found some lesions. I was actually getting ready to just go for a walk in nature, what I usually do. And I stepped out of the shower and I turned my head to go grab a towel, and all I heard was snap, crackle, pop. I didn't think in a million years that's what was going to be my life after that, is, having not just broken in one spot, but it was 2 spots, 2 vertebrae, and then having to be rushed to the hospital and then to another hospital where they can do the surgery. So it was a lot. So I got surgery. I had rods and screws put in through my C4 to my C7. It was really tough. That was a real test to my positivity and keeping with a positive attitude. That's chronic pain and conditions. Okay, these are the 2 really good ones. As time went on, I started getting more and more mobile. And I'm like, I'm going to Starbucks. I need to go to Starbucks. I need a real coffee. And we had one about 500 meters away, so I even mapped it out. I'm like, I can do this, I could do this. And I got myself there, and yeah, that was probably one of the best days for a long time.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad.
Good. When I was discharged from the cancer agency about 6, 7, 8 months later, I was kind of lost after that. My identity was kind of like, oh, who am I now? And I, was always into fitness. I love running, getting out there and being active in nature and everything. And now I was having issues you know, even getting out of bed a lot of the time. That's when I was introduced to Self-Management BC. I was told that this was a great workshop to take. It was called Cancer Thriving and Surviving. I went to it and I ended up volunteering for them, and I became a facilitator and then did health coaching. This is my office. So I'll introduce myself first. My name is Sasha and I am one of your co-facilitators for today. You're in a situation where, you know, I feel like, oh, you know, I have nothing to give to somebody else. I don't know how I'm going to help another human being while I'm in the position I'm in. But even the peer support with that, you know, there's always going to be someone else that's going to be better off than you. There's someone that's going to be worse off than you. So what can we do to make this goal where you feel your comfort level is at a 7?
Let me ask you something. Did you know that you would be this strong? Was it always in you?
I think I come from a long line of very strong, stubborn women in my family. You know, what can I do today that will bring me joy?
You have taken the cards that you have been dealt, making the best of them, and not only that, but are teaching other people how to make the best of their life too. That's outstanding. So glad to have met you, and thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from you today.
Thank you.
Yeah. The mind is a wondrous thing. I'm in awe of Sasha's fortitude and positive outlook. It's something we can all aspire to. When we come back, we're going to meet a group of survivors who were bonded over a shared love.
We've raised over $175,000 in the 10 years.
Definitely had some family members that have had cancer and have beat it, and other families who did not beat it.
We're meeting Zoomers who have faced a battle with cancer and come out the other side. Once you've had an experience with cancer, you'd be shocked to find how many people around you have had their own battles with this terrible disease. Videographer Dean Atwell went to Comox to join a group of cancer survivors who happen to be off-roaders.
It's just a fun event of a whole bunch of 4x4s that get together, go out on trails, have fun, and then come back and spend money and raise money.
That's good.
Jeepapalooza is celebrating its 10th year. This unique annual event combines the sport of off-roading in Jeeps and other vehicles with a powerful mission: raising funds for cancer research.
We've raised over $175,000 in the 10 years. When it started in 2014, I was a cancer survivor.
Steven? 50 is going to be started.
Yeah, what do you need?
Even if we could just...
Hey, I need a float for the 50-50. We all know somebody who is either fighting it or fought it or lost. You know, like, you can ask everybody here. Chances are they know somebody.
I lost my grandfather to prostate cancer.
Our owner, Ed Coates, who started Lord Co. in 1974, he passed away from cancer in 2014.
So my friend is Craig. One day he woke up with a sore knee and he went to the doctor, and the doctor did x-rays and he had a tumor.
2 months after the first time I was here, I went in for shoulder surgery, and they discovered I had stage 3. Still kind of tough every time I talk about it. But
You want the tire to ride over the rock as opposed to up and a hard surface. So it allows the tire to kind of mold around the rock, which gives you more surface area touching the rock, or the surface, which gives you more traction. We're basically at the center of the island, and then Souk and Victoria is down here. That triangle is us, and Three Little Pigs is this trail in blue coming all the way around here.
The road that we're on right now is an active logging road.
Yes. So radios are necessary because there's actually channels and frequencies, and you have to call that you're on the road.
I mean, at least there's always somebody who knows someone who's touched by cancer, so coming out here to show appreciation, awareness to people who have fallen ill to cancer.
It's cool to see everyone get together as a big team, almost like a family, and raise money to just people, everyone, all the time. Cancer's huge, so.
How's it going so far?
Oh, having a blast, just jeeping around, you know.
Well, the Jeep community tell me here that it's not just about the thrill of the ride, it's about the hope and support generated for those battling cancer. On Vancouver Island, Dean Atwell.
What a truly incredible place of healing, not just for the survivors, but for those who've had cancer touch their lives. Here at Zoomer Media, host, columnist, and my friend Libby Znaimer has had her own battles with cancer more than once and beaten all the odds.
Libby Znaimer, I'm a broadcaster and journalist. The reason I'm here is a very extensive and successful experience as a cancer patient. I recently completed treatment for my third primary cancer, which was stomach cancer. The Canadian Cancer Society handed out 5 big grants for the forms of cancer that have the lowest survival rates. One of them, actually the lowest survival rate, is pancreatic cancer. I first had breast cancer back in 2006, and then 2 years later I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, which is usually a death sentence. I have a genetic mutation. It's a BRCA mutation. I carry a mutation called BRCA2. It affects mostly Ashkenazi Jews. I'm an Ashkenazi Jew.
1 in 40 Ashkenazi Jews carry a BRCA mutation. There's a lot of Ashkenazi Jewish people walking around carrying a gene that puts them at increased risk for cancer, and they don't know. And we'd like to see people choosing to be tested so that they can identify whether they are at risk, so they can do something to prevent cancers.
Frankly, with the pancreatic cancer, when I was diagnosed, I mean, we all thought I was going to die. That's what happens. People die of it. It's a question of how long. So when the drugs started working and I was surviving, it was, wow, it was great.
After 3 separate cancers and months of treatment, Libby is once again back at work.
Really, it's a very, very terrible, tough disease with a low survival rate, and we need better treatment and we need earlier detection too. But I think that it's up to us to find ways to facilitate and to make it accessible to as many patients as possible. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll take a look at how advances in preventative medicine are helping us detect cancers earlier. But first, our regular feature with Chef Julian Bond. He's back in the kitchen cooking healthy, affordable, and Zoomer-friendly recipes. And as a cancer survivor himself, he totally understands the value of nutrition on the healing journey.
Hi everybody, welcome to Granville Island here in the heart of Vancouver. One of the busiest food markets in North America, but it's also one of the best. This store is called the Stock Market. Why is it called Stock Market? Because they make fantastic, amazing stocks. I'm gonna get chicken bone broth. This is where they take the elements of chicken stock, you see the difference? But now I'm gonna cook it with a lot more meat. This is made with the bones of the chicken. This is made with the entire chicken. It's got the skin in there, it's got the collagen, nutritional, it's like nectar. So when I was going through chemo, we had to think about what foods I can get inside me, fast, nutritious, and as I look at this table, it brings me back to smoothies. Every smoothie I make, to get those vegetables in there, it has to have kale. This is really hard to digest, but if you puree it up in a blender, along with all these different varieties, you can make yourself a superfood puree that's gonna keep you sustained. Health and nutrition, they're extremely important to me. Someone who's gone through cancer, having lots of chemo, it's about getting as much nutrients inside of you as fast and as easy as you can do it. I'm gonna give you 2 recipes today that are gonna be so quick, you're gonna love them. When you do kale, make sure you take off that heavy fibers and just the leaves. Carrots, you can pre-grate them if you don't have a really good blender. Strawberries, as many as you wish. Blueberries, all those antioxidants. And apple juice. Now we serve. You know, when you're down, there's nothing better than a good broth. Here's what we got, a nice vegetable broth. There's no salt in here. And this is gonna be my base for this. This is my roast chicken from last night. All that little bit of leftover meat, we're gonna add it to our lovely stock here. We're gonna add some rosemary, some thyme, bay leaves, anti-inflammatory, antioxidants. They're just amazing, full of vitamin C and B too. We're gonna let that simmer. You can cover it, just make it more concentrated. So it's been about 20, 25 minutes. Let's have a peek. A lot of the meat has fallen off already. So it's time to serve. These are carrots and mushrooms that I cooked a little bit ahead of time. I'm gonna put that into my cup. Put a little bit of parsley in there, because food has to look pretty with your eyes. Grab some broth and just pour right into my cup. And there we have lovely, warm, and healthy chicken broth.
We're on a journey to learn how Canadians are living their best lives after cancer. Here in BC, a new government outreach program aims to tackle cervical cancer in a big way. Dr. Lily Proctor is the medical director of BC Cervical Cancer Screening Program. I want to talk to her about a new self-test kit that can catch and maybe even prevent cervical cancer. Hi, Dr. Lily. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet
Thank
you.
you so much for taking the time.
Of course. So cervical cancer is actually caused by a virus. It's caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. Once you have HPV, most people get rid of it. 80 to 90% of people will clear the virus in 2 years. Some people don't. And it's that we want to catch those people who hold on to HPV, because it's the persistence of that virus that can cause cellular changes on the cervix.
And it doesn't make you feel bad. You don't even know you have it.
No, you're asymptomatic, and that's why screening is so important. We have a very effective vaccination against HPV. It's called the Gardasil vaccine. It's available for free to the school-aged kids, girls and boys in British Columbia. And it works very, very well. There are studies showing that the prevention of cervical precancer and cancer is significant.
So here we have the cervix self-screening test. It's an HPV test. This is the kit you would receive in the mail. You can see that within it, there's the dry swab, which is just the red cap here. So if you're between the ages of 25 and 69, what you do is you go online and you can order the kit yourself. You put in your name, your mailing address, etc., or you can go to your healthcare provider and get a test from their office. If you order it online, what will happen is you get the test in the mail. It comes in an unmarked envelope, so it's discreet. Within the envelope, there's a package which has the swab. It's a dry swab, so you don't have to worry about spilling liquid or anything. There's instructions, and then there's links in the instructions to videos that you can watch online. You collect the swab yourself in a comfortable and safe environment. You close it, you put it into a prepaid envelope, and then you just stick it in your nearest Canada Post box. The lab gets the result, and then 4 to 6 weeks later, you're mailed a copy of the result.
So let me ask you this. Now I'm waiting for my test.
Yeah.
And of course, like any medical procedure, you're just hoping for a great result.
Yeah.
What are the other options that my test could come back with?
Right. So as you said, the majority of people will be HPV negative. If you get a negative result, the next step is that you rescreen in 5 years. And you can either do it with your healthcare provider or yourself. The other 2 options that you might get is it might say you're HPV positive, or there's HPV positive others. Depending on that type of result, within the letter that you get, it'll tell you what the next step is. It's really important to remember that having HPV doesn't mean you have cancer. It means you just need extra tests.
and that might be a visit to your family doctor for a pap test, or it might be a referral to a gynecologist to have a look at your cervix with a microscope. We really have the opportunity to really eliminate a type of cancer. We can get rid of cervical cancer that's caused by HPV in British Columbia, and we can do that through vaccination or prevention and screening with this high-quality HPV test.
I can say from experience that the self-test is a lot more comfortable than the pap smear. And if you haven't had a chance to get screened, please do so. We're almost done, but we'll be back to wrap it up. First, a word from CARPe President Rudy Boutignon.
Hi, I'm Rudy Boutignon, President of the Canadian Association of Retired Persons. A word about cancer. It's a scary, scary word, but it's not like it used to be. I know from personal experience with family and friends that survivability is very high for many cancers. The key is early detection. It should be part of a regular health regimen. If you want to learn more about this or other healthcare matters, check out our website at carpe.ca and join the community.
Cancer is a scary thing. I'm impressed and inspired by the people that we met today. And I only hope that I can be like them if I ever faced a serious health crisis. And that's the show. Remember, as our CARPe President Moses Neimer always says, the best way to keep going is to keep going. So carpe diem and seize your day.